Forever had her daughter Carlie Faith September 5th, 2019. Hope's baby snatchback was real. So for Mother's Day, she decided to gift herself with a bare it all photo shoot with her baby girl. Yet she still had to get permission from her husband.
Now mind you, I work in the entertainment industry, so it ain't nothing for me to be walking down the runway, the nipple is out and the booty is out, and I mean everybody just see everything that's out, and it just is what it is. But for this is something that I wanted to do for myself, and my agent was all for it. And I went to my husband and I was like, hey, so this is what I want to do. How do you feel about this? And I'm so glad I did that. You want to know why? Because when I decided to post that picture on social media, everybody had an opinion. To the point to where someone told another friend, there's no way I could be her husband, and she's putting naked pictures.
You're not graced to be with me anyway.
Exactly.
Oh,
and then you know what too? But half of the people that got something say y'all liking these naked other women pictures on the internet. Like stop being a hypocrite about other people's lives.
You know, be glad Instagram took down where we can see you like.
Okay, next you're gonna hear my best friend, Kaera, talk about the relationship that she's currently been in for the past 2 years. She's gonna give you her perspective of the words collaboration versus control and her experiences within her relationship.
For me, when it comes to my relationships, I've always dated older men, and somehow I find myself being in relationships with men that are not only older, but all of them has had military backgrounds. Exactly. So people, you know, on the outside looking in, if you've never been with a military male, can they be controlling? Yes. I'm just gonna put it out there. Yes, they can be controlling. But what I think it is, I think that they're just very disciplined, and kind of going through that whole military phase and being in that industry. That's what you learn. Now for me, when it comes to control and collaboration, just like last week, I felt that my partner was being controlling because he had already had plans to go out on a Saturday night, and when that night came and I went to drop the kids off, he was dropping the kids off, and I got back and I'm thinking, you know, he's gonna be dressed and getting ready to go. He's like, I'm tired, I don't feel like driving. And I was like, okay, well how about I drive you? And he's like, no, how about we just stay in? You know, and I'm like, we just talked about this. You know, we talked about our plans on Saturday night. We had already agreed to go. That was the collaboration part. And now that you change your mind, and what if I decide to leave? You know, because I want to go support my cousin. And it's like, no, that's not okay for you to go and me not to go, because then all the cousins and the aunts, where's such and such at? And I felt that was controlling. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to show up at an event where I'm always going around family and friends with my partner, and then they're asking me, well, where is he? And this time it's not a good reason. I can't say, oh, he's at the place, or oh, he's at work, or oh, he's on a date with his kids. But no, it's because of an argument, a disagreement, you're being controlling. But that's not for me to share that information with them. So I decided not to go, and I was mad. I was very mad. So we talked about it the next morning when we came back from playing golf, and he did say that, you know, he said, I apologize. Okay. And he's like, not only do I apologize for pretty much canceling plans, I know it was indirectly canceling plans, but he said that he apologized for agreeing to something and then changing his mind and not even consulting that with me. Right, it's very misleading. So when I think about it, collaboration, you know, you just coming together, talking about something.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. That is a good point. Just to make sure both parties' voices are heard, and make sure that you not try to pinpoint who's right and who's wrong, but make sure that you understand. Understand that person, and that way you won't feel like you're being controlled or being controlling, because you're literally taking into account.
I think that's really good. I think it's about respect. Like, you respect my emotions, my thoughts. Like, we don't have to always agree, but you respect them enough to hear them out and to, you know, give them the ability to be heard and to be seen. I think that's a big thing for me anyway. That's a love language, to be seen and to be heard. Like, I don't want to be silenced. I don't want to feel like my feelings don't matter. So, like, when I think of control, I feel like that's manipulation. Like, when you're using your, when you know that I have a level of respect and esteem for you, and the authority that you have in the relationship, you're taking that and you're manipulating it for your advantage without consideration of how I feel and what I think is best for me in that moment. So that's how I think control is in a relationship, as opposed to collaboration where we're considering each other, we're talking about things, and we have that room to grow and to really get those thoughts and emotions out without being able, like you said, to pinpoint who's right or who's wrong, or figure out where the error was, but figure out.
Okay, so the word submission can be a pretty sensitive topic in regards to different women. So each lady is going to give their perspective of their situation whenever the word submission is utilized within their relationship.
I think the key phrase that you just mentioned was seeing submission model.
Right.
For me, I didn't see that growing up. My parents have been married for 30 something plus years, and I saw my mom be the strong, dominant woman, so I thought that's what that was. And when I got married the first time, I called myself trying to submit, but the truth of the matter is I never felt secure in that submission. So like you said, knowing that, you know, you have to submit to and I have to submit, then that brings up a sense of security / intimacy, and that did not happen in the first marriage. So if I'm honest, I went back into dating feeling like I gotta have this much money in the bank, my career has to be at this point,
Listen, talk about it,
I
girl.
have to have this many assets, because if I have to submit, I need to submit knowing that I got a bag secure already.
Right.
But y'all know that ain't a submission. That's some foolishness. But what's crazy is that's actually what that's what culture, society perpetuates. Like, I think when we put pressure on a woman to say, you know, girl, make sure you got your own car, your own house, make sure you got the secret bank account.
Right.
Listen, what you're really saying is
Have a backup.
have a backup plan, because you yourself don't trust the process of what submission is. Now, being married and going on, been married for about a year and a half now, and going through so much counseling and therapy, I now feel like LaChandra, except for I got a little more. He has more responsibility than me, and I don't want it. Point blank period.
I want it.
You know, one of my favorite apostles said, there are just some things that a woman should not have to worry about. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I don't want to worry about it. I don't need to handle all the bills.
Take the pressure.
I don't need to be the accountant of the family. No, you know. My mom was an accountant, so I understood why she, you know, handled all the finances stuff. I don't need to do that. I don't want to do it.
Girl, I just the accountant don't want to.
You understand what I'm saying? But I had to get to the place to where I felt secure. And if I can be honest with y'all, especially with this pandemic, and me just now going through a contract situation, all of those feelings of insecurity and anxiety, they came back up again. And the truth of the matter is, okay, I now have to put my trust and my faith in this person, knowing that they're going to cover me. But the truth of the matter is, no, it's putting my trust and my faith in God, knowing that if this person don't do right by me, God's going to handle it.
And that's you made a good point. You're talking about security, because too, as a single person, a lot of times we submit prematurely in hopes of getting secure in something, hoping that he'll bet on us,
that was my
hoping
last
that
relationship.
he'll make us a wife, because if he sees that we'll submit, then maybe that'll make him more eager to do something. But
Lies.
that's right. Nothing but lies.
It's the truth.
It's really a lie. Like, it's not
My
a
last
word.
relationship, that's what I did. I was giving, let me be clear, I was giving covenant privileges. Because a lot of people get married and it's a contract. I was giving covenant privileges.
Listen.
When I was dating.
Oh, let's talk about covenant.
When I was dating, yes, he married me. But guess what? Not only did he marry me, he married all my dysfunction. And I married his dysfunction because I was dysfunctional the whole time we were dating. So it's like, guess what, y'all? As trust him, when a man know you honor him to that degree, the old folks say it ain't nothing that man will do for you.
And see, that's the key word too, I think, because permission is a trigger word, especially for single people. Like,
Yes, ma'am.
I gotta ask your permission? Like, what? No, I don't. Like, I'm grown, but permission is an act of honor. Because I honor who you are, and because I honor the title that you have, I'll have a conversation with you to talk it over. Not because I don't feel like, because I told Angel the same thing in that post. Permission to me too was about what did God say. Because a lot of times it's not like a matter of, okay, because we can have a disagreement, right? But what happens if this disagreement is about your will that you want to appease that is disagreeing with God? So do we not go because your permission told me no and God said yes? Like, how do we go about that? And I think that's the point of honor, though. Who are we honoring, and why are we choosing to honor people that don't have titles, that don't have any investment? Like, we really want, especially again as a single person, we feel like, okay, we have time in with this person, or this, that, and the other. We got skin in the game, so I need to honor this boyfriend title that don't come with no benefits. None, unless he in your bed, that's your business, because whatever. But right, that's your business. But it comes with no privilege. But there's a security and a safety net that comes with marriage as to why it's easy for you.
Intimacy.
But see, we giving intimacy for free out here in singleness, because that's what, the world tells us relationships are supposed to look like. We're supposed to be able to give all of this stuff for free, but he can't take us and get this piece of paper signed because it's just a piece of paper.
No, and that's why I say I think it really does go back to what both people in the relationship view covenant as.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, and I'm sure you heard this when you got engaged, everybody has something to say about, yeah, baby, just keep on living, oh, wait until you've been married 10, 20. I just don't feel like you have to be miserable for 25 years. Like, of course, there's ups and downs in a relationship, but at the same time, it's like, that doesn't have to be my story. Like, if we can just sit and come to some terms of agreement on, okay, what does this look like to you? My husband told me something recently that he ordered for me, and I was shocked. And I started crying. And I was like, you did that for me because it's something that's going to benefit my career. And he was like, yeah. Well, guess what? I never had that before. My husband's career has nothing to do with the industry I'm in. So I'm looking at this man like, you work for corporate America, I work in entertainment. Why would you do that for me? You know why? Because he's investing into our home.
Right.
My success is his success.
Right.
His success is my success. And even though there were things regarding his career I wasn't 100% in agreement with last year, guess what? None of us knew a pandemic was going to hit a year later. And where everybody else's household and people were concerned with what their salary was, this, that, and the third, like, we've been eating.
I think the key word is investment, like you're investing in your marriage.
Right.
So when it comes to submission, permission, covenant, it's all because you are submitting to making this marriage work, this thing work. You're submitting to make sure that God gets the glory out of the union that He's brought together. So I'm not asking, your permission to go here, go there for you to make your own decision. It's like I'm investing in what is your feelings about this? How are you going to be concerned? If I go to this place, what is it going to make you feel like? What are your thoughts going to be? Is it going to cause riffraff in our marriage? This, that, and the other? Do you need me at this moment? Can you sacrifice something at this time for me to be here for these people or do this? It's like, it's more than me just trying to keep tabs on you. It's me actually giving you permission or giving you the ability to know that your opinion matters. And I want this marriage to work, because if I don't value your opinion, then I can just go ahead and do whatever I want to do, and you left at home, and when I come back home, you acting a stone cold fool, and I'm wondering why. It's because my opinion and what really moved me or what made me feel a certain way, you didn't value. You didn't.
And that comes down to like communication. We have to be very fluent in communication, like to express what it is that how we feel about certain things. Like, and I think too, one of the questions earlier was talking about like women. women are taught that we are supposed to basically endure a level of trauma before a relationship hits a peak of success.
No.
And we shouldn't have to obtain, like, we don't have to suffer before we can get to success. Like, there are certain things, I'm not saying that you can't work through certain things, because people
Everybody
make
has their
mistakes,
limits.
right?
Everybody has their
But there are certain non-negotiables that are just, you know, and so I don't have to settle or
over the whole
go down in the trenches with you just for the sake of, okay, we're gonna come up. Like, no.
Okay, that wraps up part 2. I don't know about you guys, but I am enjoying every part of these conversations. Please tune in next week we're going to start getting into the subject of racism within the Black community, as well as colorism from millennial woman to millennial woman, and what that looks like for each of these ladies. Don't forget to subscribe, to make comments in the comment box below. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys. Until next time. Bye, guys.